Hi everyone, this is Crispy1001 at kpcosov.com. This is our 27th video on how to use Blender and the Blender2FSX add-on to make models for Flight Simulator 10. In this video we're going to be going over level of detail. This was requested by Rico83 at fsdeveloper.com. The original tutorial that I am following to make this tutorial is by Farfie's Scenery, and here is their web address if you'd like to go and read their tutorial. So let's get started. Let's open Blender, and the first thing we need to do is start setting up our work environment. So we want to go to Scenes, and we want to click on Imperial. Once we have that, let's go to our Blender tab. Let's initialize our toolset, generate our guide, and put our friendly name. Let's go test of house. Okay, so we have that now. Okay, so what we're going to need to do, we need to make a parent, and we're going to use a empty for a parent for each layer of level of detail we want to make for our project. Now for this project I'm only going to make two different layers of detail. I'm going to make a layer 400, which is your highest res. I'm going to be also doing the layer or load of 25, which is your lowest level of detail. Now, of course, you can do more. You can do layer 400, 300, 200, 100, and so forth. So let's get going. So we're going to do a Shift A. We're going to go to Empty, and we're going to add a cube. And I'm going to hit N. Let me turn on Screencast. Let's see what size. Okay, we're going to leave it that size. That's fine. Okay, so we need to name this now. Let's go to our properties, and let's name this house underscore capital LOD underscore 400. So I'm naming mine house underscore capital LOD underscore 400. At this point, I'm going to save my project. So save as. I'm going to name mine that. Okay, so the project is saved. Now what we need to do, we are going to duplicate this empty, and we're going to move it to another layer. So each one of our level of details is going to be on a different layer on our Blender project. So make sure you have that one. Do a Shift D, hit Enter, and then hit the M key and move it to the lower layer. Now let's change to that layer. We will rename it 25. So we're going to name it house underscore LOD underscore 25. So now we have parents for each one of our level of details, 400 being our highest, 25 being our lowest. Now we need to model our high resolution building. So let's go to our main layer, or default layer, and we're going to do a Shift S, Shift A, Mesh, and Cube. We're going to change the size. So let's do something like 40 by 40 by, let's go 12. Zoom out. Okay. don't have our scale default, so we're going to have to change our scale to default. So let's do a Control A and hit scale. Now we're scaled correctly. Let's go File and Save. Let's go into Edit mode, hit Tab, aid and select everything. And this will be the front of our building. So you want to have, well, let's actually go top. So yeah, the very beginning of Y, or the Y positive direction, which is here, is going to be the front of our building. So we're going to take that, move it like that. Oops. So this will be the front of our building. So let's do a loop cut. Control R, enter. Enter one more time. Let's go to the front of our building, which is Control 1. Let's make sure, yep, Control 1. And let's make sure I have, okay, I can't see through my building, so we're going to turn on so we can see back facing, or see vertices all the way through the object. Hit Control 1 again. We're going to hit A and select, B to select, choose the top vertices. We're going to pull them up. Oops, hold on. Not good. Let's go A. I'm going to go to the top. I'm sorry. Let's go to a top view. I'm going to do a loop cut. Pull it up to about right there. Do another loop cut. Pull it to about right there. Do another loop cut. About right there. Another loop cut. Pull it about right there. So we have something that looks like that. Let's go into face mode. Let's turn off so we can't see back facing. Let's select the top faces. Let's pull them up. Grab Z. Oops. I'm sorry, escape. We want to extrude. E. Go. Now let's put in a door there and some windows. So let's hit A. Let's do a front view again. Oh, let's make sure we can see through the building. Okay, that's good. Control A. Let's go to vertices again. Let's do a loop cut. And hit enter and enter. Do on the other side, loop cut, enter, enter. Now with that one still selected, do a B select, select that one so you have both those selected. And we're going to do a size in the X axis. To move those in, we're going to set up our door. Let's make sure we have our door wide enough. Most doors is a 3.6 to a 4.0 probably for a building like this. So let's go to our grease pencil. We'll use the ruler. So we're a little bigger than a 4.0. Not much, so we'll leave it as it is. Let's see, didn't mean to do that. So let's hit escape. And we probably want our door probably 7 foot. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pause for a minute. Sorry about that. Okay, now we want to do the top of the door. We're going to make it like a 7 foot. So let's do our measuring again. So we want it about right there. Okay, so hit escape to get rid of your protracting ruler. Go back to tools. I'm going to do a loop cut, and we'll pull it up about right there. Okay, so I have an area for my door. I'm going to do one more loop cut so I can do windows. Pull it down a little bit. About right there. Those would be pretty big windows. So we're going to do a couple more loop cuts. I'm going to use the middle mouse wheel to roll it to get 2. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Now we might want those a little bit wider. So I'm going to do let's make sure we can see through we can see through our object. So Control 1. I'm going to move this one and this one in a little bit. So I'm going to do a B select and a B select. I'm going to size it in X. Do the same thing to these. Hit A, B, and B. Size in X. Let's see, let's do it about right there. We're going to make this our window and this our window, and that'll be our door. So let's hit A and let's go to face select. Choose these right here. Do an extrude, and we want to do it in the Y direction. Pull it in. That's good. And let's choose our windows, and let's extrude them in as well. Okay, so that's about all we're going to do for that. So let's hit A, let's go Tab. So there's our high-res version of the object. Now we need to do a low-res version, but first let's just go ahead and do that. So let's do a top view. Oh, let's name it house or building. Building 400. Okay. Let's do a Shift A. Mesh cube. Let's go wireframe. Let's do size. About right there. Let's do a front view. We need to size it in the Z, or in the Z axis, size Z. That's good. Oh, I see something else we need to do. We also need to bring up our buildings to the Y0 position. So let's go back to our building 400, and we want to go into tab. Go into edit mode, I mean, and we want to hit A to select everything. We want to do G in the Z direction and pull it up. That's good. Hit tab to go to edit mode. Let's choose our low-res building. Let's do the same thing with it. Hit the edit. Hit G and Z to bring it up. Right there. Go ahead and edit mode. Okay, we're a little bit taller. So let's go into, let's do size Z. Right there. That's good. And let's name this one Building 25. Okay, now let's also make sure we need to put our scaling back to default for this item. So let's do Alt A and scale. Okay, so that's good. Let's make sure our high res one is. It is. Okay, now we're going to group these under their parent. So the high res, or the highest resolution of our building, is going to go under our empty for our level of detail 400. So make sure you have your building underscore 400 selected. Select your empty for level of detail 400 and do a Control P. Set parent to object. If you click on that, you'll see now it's underneath, parented underneath that. Let's do the same thing for our building. Oop, we didn't change that yet. So click on your house level of detail 25. See where it's at. Oops, wrong one. Building, there it is. I'm sorry, not the empty. Click on the actual object. And we need to move that to the correct layer. So hit M and move it to that layer. Let's go to that layer. And make sure you still have that building selected, the building underscore 25, and click on your house, or your empty house, LOD 25. I guess I should have named those the same thing, building, how, well, I messed up on that. Let's do Control P. Okay, so now we have that set up. So now let's go back into wireframe, to solid mode. And let's do fast texturing. We're only going to put simple colors on it for this tutorial, no texturing. So let's click on the correct layer, go to our main one, let's go into edit mode, and let's make sure, I'm going to go and make sure I'm in wireframe, into vertice. I'm going to have everything selected right now. I'm going to go to materials, and I'm going to add a new material. I'm going to call it walls. I'm going to leave it white. Change the intensity down quite a bit, down to 0.15, and make sure I have FSX material parameter selected. And I'm going to assign to all. Then I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to go unselect everything. I'm going to make it so I don't see back facing. I'm going to go into face mode, and I'm going to hit C. I'm going to use the middle mouse wheel to dial down my selector. I'm going to hold and choose the top inside faces and hit enter. Now choose those. I'm going to make a new material. So I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to go new. I'm going to name it roof. And I'm going to give it a darker color. Set the diffuse to 1. Set top to 0.15. And again, make sure you have FSX material parameter selected. And hit assign. Okay, they got that. Now let's choose our door, or the faces for our door. Let's add another material. Go new. Name it door. Let's try to choose a brown color. Something like that. Change our diffuse to 1. Intensity 0, or specular to 0.15, and again do the FSX material parameters and hit assign. Now we'll do our windows, add a new material, click on the new, let's put glass, let's choose a bluish color, 1.0, 0.15, or I'm sorry, 0.15. Make sure you have FS material parameter selected. Go up and hit assign. Just go out of, hit A and select, and tab to go to edit mode. So there's our building with materials, no textures applied, and we're not going to do any transparencies. Now we need to go and do basically this part of the same part to our building 25. So let's go to our 25 or level of detail layer 25. Let's select our building, go into edit mode. Let's hit A and select everything. Click on the top for the roof. Click on the material little window icon next to the new and choose roof. We need to hit well, assign's already going to be there. Now let's just go down to our mesh, or I mean to select it, I'm sorry, hit inverse. It'll choose everything but the roof. We're going to hit add to add a new material, and again we're going to click on the little material icon, and we're going to choose walls. We're going to hit assign. Now these will still have everything selected as the default one, so we don't have to change anything. Hit A and select everything, and tab to go to edit mode. So now we have the same color scheme in our low res as we do our higher res. Okay, now let's go File and Save. Now at this point, if we went and we made our model file and then our BGL file and put it into FSX to run as a scenery item, the level of detail would not change as you got closer or further away from the object. And that's just because the way scenery items are, and they do in FSX for some reason. So going by that tutorial here, if you go down, let's see, he tells you what to do to get it fixed. Let's see. Yeah, right here. He put down on here, basically, he says, now save your work, compile it, and install into the game. If you leave the coordinates set to blah blah blah, let's go past that. Now as you move back, you should see the object change from red cube to blue tube to green sphere. He made three different level of detail excuse me, layers, and he had each one change shape and color. But then you'll see that he says, now as we did that, the first time I tried this, I had the same problem. It doesn't work. But he says, now as you move back, you should see the object change from red cube to blue tube to green sphere, but it does not work. And he says, the first time I tried this, I had the same problem. Then I read a post in the forum at whatever this is and learned there is a problem with FSX and how to fix this. So that's basically what we're going to be doing now. So what we need to do, make sure you're in your default or your 400 level of detail layer, and we need to set up a small little animation. And the animation, by putting this animation into your scenery object, it will force FSX to do a redraw and it will run your level of details correctly. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into wireframe. I'm going to add in a small little plane right here. So we hit A and select everything. We're going to do Shift A. We're going to go and add a plane. And I'm just going to leave it named plane. I really don't care about what it, anything that it does, because it's not going to be seen anyway. But we do need to add a material to it. So let's go and add, or click on the little material icon, and I'm going to give it wall, a material of wall. Once I do that, I want to set up an animation now for it. Now he said to give it an animation of 0 to 3. So with that item still selected, we want to go to Blender2FSX tab. We're going to do FSX Animation Tools. We're going to click on Ambient. And he said to choose Ambient, and we're going to hit Assign. Now if we go to our properties for that object, we go down, we see we have an animation tag of Ambient with a length of 0. Even though it's 0, you still need to put some keyframes in. So we're going to go down to our animation now and controls. We're going to put our start in at 0. We're going to do our ending at 3. And we're going to do our starting at 0. And I'm going to set a keyframe at the 0 position for that location for that item. So we're going to hit I and location. Okay, I'm going to do a Control 3. And now I'm going to move our animation to keyframe 3. I'm going to do a grab in the Y direction, and I'm going to move it over by 1 unit. And enter. So you can see now that we moved it over just a little bit. I'm going to do another keyframe, so I, and a keyframe for location. So I have that now. Now if you want to make it so you're not going to see this item here, or if you want to see the item by itself, you can hit the slash on your numeric pad, or you can turn off all the little eyes here on each item, and it'll get rid of them. But if we go ahead and just hit that, you can see that's there. Hit Z to go back into solid mode. You see now we have a plane there. If we go back, set our animation to 0, and we hit play, you can see it moves back and forward. So it runs our animation. Make sure to put your animation back at 0. Hit the slash key one more time to bring everything back. Oh, let's go Z, hit the Z key to go back into solid mode. And let's go hit File and Save. Now we have everything that we need to get this to work in Flight Simulator. So let's go ahead and hit Tools. Now I'm not going to go into setting up the BGL file or any of that, because I already did that in a previous tutorial. So if you need that information, go back to, I don't remember what video it is. I'll put it in the text on for this video when I upload it to YouTube. But let's go ahead and go File, Export, Export DirectX for FSX. I'm going to put it in my model. I'm going to hit, make sure I do Export MDL file, and I'm going to export FSX.x file. Okay, so that is made. We can close this now. Oops. So if everything went good, you now have your model file. So you take your model file, do a copy, and paste it into your BGL area where you're going to make your BGL file. Paste it in, make your BGL file, paste it into, let me go there, to your flight simulator. So go in your C drive if you did a default install. Microsoft Program Files x86, Microsoft Games, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator 10. We want to go to Scenery. Now this is where I put mine. You put yours in add-on sceneries if you want, but I go to World and Scenery, and I named mine again Rig 1, but there's mine right there. Paste it in, run Flight Simulator. Now I can't run Flight Simulator because it doesn't run well with my video capture program, but I've already taken pictures so you can see what it looks like in game. So this is what it looks like when you are far away from the item. As you move closer, it'll go to our high res. So that's the end of this tutorial. I hope it was informative for everyone, and thanks for watching. Bye.